Well, the first thing we did was research and determine the best location for the dog park. This site was chosen because of its central location in the town. It had availability of utilities such as power and water nearby. We had a parking lot that was already built next door to it. Yeah. Once we determined what we wanted to have here, we had to start the permitting process, which we have to get dust control permits, we have to get building permits, because yes, even the town itself has to follow its own guidelines and processes with regards to building safety. So once our plans were approved through that process, then we began. The beginning stages, of course, were the demolition of the structures that were here, then ripping up all of the soil that was here and removing all the old abandoned utilities. We had to remove asphalt and concrete and all kinds of old stuff that was underneath the soil here, and create a rough grade first. After the rough grade is established, we then go in and literally screen all of the topsoil on the site. We use specialized equipment for that, and it takes about a week with this piece of equipment to just filter about the top 12 inches or so. But we end up with some great soil to grow in. You know, we don't even have a rock over 3/8 of an inch in the entire top foot of this entire place. Then on top of that, we also bring in hundreds of tons of topsoil that is screened ahead of time. We do soil analysis on all of that so that we know exactly what we're dealing with. Okay, once we have all the soil, how we basically want to see it, we start doing all the installation of all the underground. Most of the utilities go in at that point. We installed all the irrigation systems, the conduits for the electric, the drainage lines, the domestic water lines. All that goes in at that point. When that's finished, then we go through and we actually soak the entire area again to settle all the soil, settle all the trenches so nothing ever sinks again in the future. After all the underground utilities are in place, then we start building everything above ground. All the curbing goes in, all the trees and the plants are installed, all the granite gets spread, and then at that point we move into the sod area. We actually spread a little soil amendments and fertilizers down before the sod goes in. For those of you that are interested, it's actually 6-20-20 ammonium phosphate and gypsum. But at that point, about 33,000 square foot of sod was installed. Took semis to bring it in. A lot of sod comes with a plastic netting underneath, which is great for yards and residential applications. The grass just grows right through it. But in a high-use area such as a dog park, we anticipate a lot of wear and tear is going to happen, and that netting can actually be dangerous for the dogs. So that's why we pre-ordered way ahead to non-netted turf for this area. After the sod goes in, we have things like the fencing and the lighting and the drinking fountain, the signage, the pet waste stations, and a lot of little odds and ends at that point. But at that point, we pretty much have a dog park.